Okay, I think we are now live. So, hi everybody, if you are joining us live. Um, Let me just close that so we don't get feedback. So, hi everybody, and welcome to Menopause Matters Live. Normally we do these on a Thursday lunchtime, 12:30, but today we are doing it on a Friday because I wanted to invite Kate to come along and talk about her experience of going from absolutely exhausted to doing a steps challenge in the last week, in something that she would never have been able to do 6 months ago, or even 4 months ago. It was something that yeah, I think Kate will explain more to you when we get into that. But welcome, Kate. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just start off with talking about, we'll just dive straight in rather than just chit chat. So tell me about the kind of challenges that you were experiencing before you got in contact with me to do the Revitalize Your Menopause program. What were what had you struggled with?
Um, Basically, I just felt completely flat. I had no energy, completely flat. I didn't want to really do anything. I've been working from home for quite a while, and I kind of got stuck into a rut of just staying at home, and um, I had no motivation to want to do anything, and all I wanted to do was rest and sleep. Yeah, it wasn't a good place really.
Yeah, yeah. And how was that impacting on your life?
Well, like I say, I was working from home. I wasn't really going into the office. If anyone sent an invite out or put something on our group, the girls, there's a thing coming up, I would always say I'll have to see how I feel. Um, and often, if I had said yes to something, I'd pull out at the last minute because I just didn't feel well enough to do it really, and it was quite debilitating, and I felt like I was missing out on a lot of things. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And you can't plan ahead, can you? When you can't make plans for the future because you just don't know how you're going to be feeling on that particular day.
exactly. I mean, the only thing that I knew I had to do was collect my nieces every 6 weeks. So sometimes if I knew I was doing this, quite a long trip, it was a 600-mile round trip over the weekend, and I would rest all week. I would do virtually nothing because I didn't really have a choice in and I wanted to do that. So yeah, it would all revolve around managing my energy, as to what I could do, and what I could do was not a lot really.
Yeah, yeah. So this had been going on for quite a while for you, hadn't it?
Yeah,
Tell me,
yes,
sorry, how long?
quite a few years.
Quite a few years, yeah. So you'd tried quite a lot of stuff, first of all, yourself, like changing your diet and things like that. And you'd also seen a number of specialists and other natural health practitioners. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I I've sort of been aware of diet and things and what you eat, and how that can affect you. So I sort of started off there really. I sort of changed my diet. I'm on medication for a couple of things, my thyroid and blood pressure, and I didn't really want to go onto other medication, but I had to at one point. I had to be put onto steroids and painkillers because of joint pain. And I was on that quite a few years. And I really wanted to come off of that. And I have always been aware of eating, trying to eat well, not eating anything that causes inflammation. So I tried there really. I tried a ketogenic diet. I tried a paleo diet. I tried something called the human being diet. There's a book written about that. I tried something called the blood group diet. And then I paid quite a lot of money for a 10-day program from Germany. It did actually help me, but I couldn't, it wasn't sustained afterwards. Um, I've bought red lights. I've done spike mats. I've done cold, all of the trending stuff that everyone goes, oh my God, after 2 weeks, this really helped me and really changed my life. And it didn't work for me.
Mm.
I saw a naturopath at one point who, because of a trauma I'd had, she'd sent me to a psychotherapist, and I did that, and none of that worked, and spent a lot of money on all of that, plus all the supplements that I then started to try and help me. And yeah, nothing really made a difference. I was still exhausted. I'd wake up in the morning and feel like, how did I ever go into work every day? Because I've been doing this at home since COVID. I just sort of I never went back in every day. And I thought, how on earth did I do that before? I
Mm.
couldn't do that, 4 or 5 months ago,
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried a lot of different things.
Mm. Mm. And I think for you, things were progressively just getting worse, weren't they? There was kind of, it was, nothing was getting better. And then if anything, it was getting worse. And
Mm.
you were struggling with your weight as well?
Yeah, yeah. I've always struggled a little bit with my weight, but I suddenly put on loads of weight. I came off of steroids and I had to manage that. And a friend of mine had said that going on to HRT had helped her. So I came off of steroids very gradually over months and months and months, took a long time with the authorization of my GP. And I went on to HRT and I was on HRT for 6 months, and that didn't make a difference. And I was putting on more and more and more weight. Um, but I didn't have the energy to go out and do exercises. I could do a little bit of movement at home, but I couldn't make myself go out every day and do something. Just what I was ending up doing was working in the morning, literally turning around and laying on my bed, setting Alexa for an hour and going to sleep. And sometimes I'd really fight with myself, especially if it was a nice day. You need to go outside. And it was like, I can't. I felt like a wilted flower. I literally felt like I had no energy to hold myself up. And so I would do a little bit of something like unload the dishwasher and come and lay back down again. That was how I managed what I
Mm.
could do, have a rest in between.
Yeah, yeah. So then we spoke, and you decided to go ahead with the Revitalize Your Menopause program. What were your thoughts before joining? Did you have any hesitations? What were you thinking when we had our initial call to discuss it?
I was thinking, this is the last thing I can think of doing. I really hope this helps. But I knew that you had done it and it had helped you. So I did have a bit of hope there. And I just thought, I've got to do something because everything is deteriorating. My health, my social life, and my work, really, because I wasn't going into the office. And although my work are okay about that, I wanted to go in more than really once a week, just for social interaction. So yeah, that was it really. But I thought I have to give this a go. I didn't know what to expect, but I just thought I have to give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of last chance saloon, and you're not the first person to say it. I had a lady yesterday who had a first consultation with, and she she said the same. She said, you literally, this is my last hope, because she again had been to lots of other, she spent a fortune, she's seen every doctor, she's seen other nutritionists, and she's got little improvements here and there, but nobody has really given her the, first of all, explanation. Most people have said they can't really find anything wrong. And it's not that there's any disease as such. It's that everything is out of balance. And when I can actually show that to people, they finally feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Not verified.
Really.
They feel like, they're not, it's not all in their head. They're not making it
Yeah.
up.
And when that's what happened to me, really. I mean, I get private medical care with my work. So I was going to my GP and saying, I'd like you to refer me to this person, please. I'd like you to, because I need to find out what's going on. And I made them do blood tests, a big panel, which I had to force them practically to do. They weren't happy about all the blood tests I was having done. And they were coming back sort of saying normal or normal, no action. And I clearly knew things weren't normal.
Or
And then
borderline.
if they were testing all the right things, and then some things were coming back that they weren't really normal, but they used to say, we're not worried about that in isolation. And I was thinking, but it's not in isolation. I've got all these symptoms.
Yeah.
At one point, they actually turned to me. It was two GPs in the office, a senior one and a junior one. And the senior GP said to me, we don't think there's anything else we can do for you. And I thought, oh my God, really?
Got to live
It's
like
not
this.
like I wasn't willing to help myself. I was doing as much as I thought I could to help myself, but they just want to put you on antidepressants or another form of HRT. And I was put on, or offered, not put on, they offered it to me. I think it was called amitriptyline because they said it would help with sleep and depression. And I just said, I don't want any of that. I want to come off of medication, not take more. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was where I was at.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, medication has its place, but it's
Yeah.
not ever going to get to the root cause of a problem. And if you actually want to heal your body, that's not the route to go. And certainly not in the long term. And, there's a lot of women that just don't want to do that, to go down that route. And the
Yeah.
same with HRT, there is this big push at the moment by certain, and I talk about it, certain celebrities and celebrity doctors, or who'd like to be celebrity doctors, and they are pushing HRT, and they're saying that every woman should be on it from the point
Mhm.
of perimenopause. And I have a differing view to that. There is a place for it, of course there is, but it's whether it's body identical or not, it's still made in a pharmaceutical lab. It is a drug. It is not, anybody who thinks that they're rubbing wild yams on their skin, look into it. That's not what you're doing.
No,
And, it can, if it's not the right type, the right dose at the right time, then it can cause more problems.
and
You know,
I should never have gone on to HRT
no,
because of fibroids, and it kind of made it a bit worse. But there was no tests done or anything like that. They didn't, yeah, they
yeah,
just, it was.
yeah. So what was it that you noticed first? What was the first thing you noticed when we started the program, that helped you? What did you kind of do that you thought, oh, this actually might be working?
It was in a few different stages for me. I think I contacted you originally in August last year, and I went. You recommended some supplements which I started to take, and there was a course. I did the course, one module a week, and that was really helpful. Makes you have a little bit more of a deeper understanding. Even though I thought I already knew quite a bit, I learned quite a lot from that. And then it was when my powders arrived, I started taking those, and because I was it took a long, not a long time, but it was quite a lot to take in, and I had to really organize myself as to how to manage it. And I did that by making a spreadsheet, made it easier for me. I was sort of preoccupied with doing all of that, and I hadn't really noticed some things. And I remember one day coming out of the shower, blow drying my hair, straightening my hair, and usually by that point I'm exhausted. And I thought, oh, I feel all right. And I thought, don't say too much, shush. I actually feel okay. So, and it was at that point, and then I remember I started to feel, the only way I can describe it is a bit buzzy, and I started to literally feel some energy.
Hmm.
Point where I had like two or three different things on the go once, and I thought, this
Whoa, hold on.
did, did feel like that, and I think I said that to you,
Yeah.
and just lots of things changed, and when I think back to how I felt then, it's a million miles to how I feel now, and I've still got a way to go because I have other health concerns, other medical issues. But there's been a knock-on effect, and some of those are getting better. And I've 6 weeks ago, I subscribed to a course. It's a joint pain course. You have to go twice a week for 12 weeks, and there's not really a lot of leeway for not going. And I would never have been able to commit to that at last August or September. I just would not have been able to do 2 lunchtimes a week and work. I would have taken the rest of the day off or the morning off. And now I've done it every week. And for the last 3 weeks, I've gone out for a walk every day, bar 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember the last time that I felt okay to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it has had a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
It really, really has for me. Yeah.
A lady I spoke to the other day, she said that she has to choose between working or exercise, but she certainly can't do both in the same day or even in the same week.
No.
And you know, she's somebody that loves exercise, so it's been really hard for her.
Mm.
I remember when I was at my low point and was really struggling, and I've got a dog, and you know I needed to walk the dog every day, but literally a dog walk would mean I had to go then and lie on the sofa for at least half an hour to recuperate from a 30-minute dog walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a ridiculous place to be. Obviously, I had been through something, you know, traumatic, and it had kind of, I'd never been like that before, but it, you know, when it happened, it was debilitating and quite worrying that, you know, and I do what I, you know, at the time I was doing what I do, same job, but I hadn't discovered this approach,
Yeah.
which, you know, is just so different. So what stood out for you with the program and the approach, which is different from others that you had done?
Well, it had been all guesswork for me up until that point. I would take supplements that I thought would be, so I would generally take vitamin C, vitamin D, all the magnesium, all the things that people say you should take. And then I would experiment with other ones, or different ones, lots of different ones, that cost lots and lots and lots of money. And like I say, nothing really worked. So with this, because it was test based, it was, I'm quite a practical, logical person. It, it made much more sense. It was, I was tested, what I was prescribed, or you know, what was formulated was for me and me only, based on my test results. And I don't think you can get any better than that. There's no guesswork involved, and it's all properly managed and done. And yeah, that was the difference for me, that it was based on tests done on me.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the formulating the supplements exactly tailored to you is quite unique. And
I'd never heard before, ever.
no, there's very few people doing it. And it does make such a huge difference. It really does. It does. What was the result that you were most proud of? I know which result I was most excited for you, but out of all of it, what were you most excited about when you at any time during the program?
That I just had more energy, and I didn't feel exhausted all the time, and that I could start thinking about, you know, if my friends are going to Hampton Court to a festival, I might be able to book a ticket for that and actually go. So it's just the knock-on effect and how it affects the rest of my life going forward. And the fact that I can walk every day, and that's actually helped some other health conditions that I've got. You know, my blood pressure's gone down, despite the fact that I damaged my knee in the middle of all of this and couldn't really walk for 6 weeks. That was a bit of a setback, but I've come back even better. And I would never have recovered from anything like that as quickly before.
Mm. It's
And
amazing when you give the body what it needs, what it can do. It's just
yeah,
that most
yeah,
of us don't realize what we need because we're just doing guesswork. It's literally guessing. You people read what you need magnesium during perimenopause. So loads of women are taking magnesium. The amount of women I see when we test, and they can't actually utilize it. They're literally peeing it down the toilet because they can't access it. It's not going into the cells where it needs to be because every mineral has cofactors like best friends, and there's
mm,
also antagonists, so like enemies, and they either work with or work against. But it takes a lot to understand it, and
I
it's
know till you explained it to me. And as far as I'm concerned, the whole I was following lots of different people on social media, and it was all completely overwhelming. And it's information overload. And I was picking out the bits that I thought I could do, and none of it really was probably relevant to me. And
yeah,
it's yeah, and this I now I can focus on one thing. I know that what I'm doing is the best thing that I can be doing for me, and I'm not guessing. I'm not, you know, it's completely scientifically based on me on tests, and I don't think I can get anything better than that. And I've not seen anybody else do what you're doing.
yeah. There's very few at the moment. Certainly in the UK,
Mm.
it's not widely used. So yeah. So you've kind of answered it already, but I'll ask it anyway. What's life like now? How is it different? Oh, I know. Sorry, there was one thing. The thing I said I was most excited for was when I saw, because I ran a steps challenge a few weeks ago, and one of your friends, Vicky, was following, and she was doing it along, and she was sharing. And you obviously you don't share a lot on social media, but she was sharing on her stories, and I saw that she'd tagged you, and you'd gone on the steps challenge with her. That for me, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. The fact
Yeah,
that you could do it, the fact that you had the energy, and you didn't just do it once, it wasn't one
and
day.
bring it. I have carried like I think I missed last Sunday and one other day in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But yeah, I literally got up out of bed this morning, and I got dressed and I put my coat on and my shoes. I didn't brush my hair. I didn't even feel properly awake, and I went. And I could never have done that before because my body wouldn't have allowed me to do it. Although I felt tired, um, I because I hadn't properly woken up. I did go, and when I came back, I felt so much better.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and I'm going to carry on doing that, And I have closed all the rings on my watch 99% of the last 3 weeks, and since I've had this watch for 2 years now, I've never done that.
yeah.
Never.
Brilliant. So what's life like now, and what does the future hold for you in terms of, what the changes that you're making?
I I can honestly say that I feel like I can look forward to things, even things like holidays. Before, my partner would say to me about going on holiday, and I'd think, oh, I'm going to be so tired, I won't enjoy it. But I never used to say anything because I didn't think that anybody else would understand. And now I feel like I can look forward to things, and I can get better, and I am getting better, and I'm feeling better. And yeah, I'm still going to have some days where I feel more tired than others.
We all
I,
do.
I did last Sunday. I didn't go for my walk. I didn't beat myself up about it. I just thought you need to have a rest. But I was doing that twice a month, laying on my bed all day, getting up, doing the dishwasher, going back to lay down. And I I mentioned earlier that I used to roll over on the bed behind me and set Alexa for an hour and go to sleep in my lunchtime. I haven't done that since way before Christmas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel excited about things, and I feel better, and I feel like I've got more energy, and I feel like I can start going back to the gym, um, and get stronger because I felt so weak for so long. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like feeling tired and weak.
No, nobody does.
It's where
Yeah, brilliant. And just finally, something that we haven't really touched on much is the weight loss. So you had that you didn't come into this specifically to lose weight, although that was always from a health perspective on your list
yeah,
because because of the blood pressure and just how you feel and because of the health markers for weight.
yeah.
But just share with us what happened, because I think that's really important too.
So I've never been someone that's weighed myself every week, and I've always struggled with my weight from my 20s. And I put on 3 stone quite quickly due to another medication that I took when I was younger that exacerbated my thyroid and things like that. So I have a thyroid condition, so it makes it harder for me to lose weight. I have rheumatism, so it makes it harder for me to exercise. But at one point, I thought, I feel like I'm losing weight, and I thought I'm going to start to weigh myself. And I was weighing myself on a Monday, and I hadn't lost weight in a really, really long time. I On the diets that I mentioned earlier that I'd done, I would lose a couple of pounds and then it would stick. Um, and I've lost about 18 pounds on this. And like I say, I had my knee injury, so it kind of leveled out over then. Um, but yeah, I've lost over a stone. I've lost over a stone since October last year.
Which is really excellent.
Yeah, I think it was end of October. I think it was. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. For somebody that had not,
gradual, but I
yeah.
think the best way.
And that's it. If somebody comes into my program and their one sole focus is to lose weight, I will say, I'm sorry, it's not for you. That's
Yeah,
not what we do. It's not a weight loss program. This is about getting you into the best health that we can. And with that, hopefully, the weight loss will come. And the body doesn't want to carry extra weight. That's not what
no.
its aim is. It wants to be the right weight. But a healthy body doesn't struggle to lose weight.
And it's interesting you should say that, because in the past, my mindset has always been if I lose weight, I'll feel better. So I'll do a 10-day blast on something, and this thing from Germany that I bought, and
Yeah,
I'll do a 21-day, or I'll do what I thought was a cleanse, or all the things that I'd seen that other people were trying. Um, and that isn't the way that it's worked for me. But
no,
it's a long-term thing for me. Um, yeah, so like I say, I've come a really long way, and this is a massive step up for me. And I know I've got a little way to go, but I feel like I can do that now,
yeah, yeah,
where I didn't even think about doing it before.
yeah.
So very much.
My pleasure, my absolute pleasure. I'm so delighted. So happy that you got the results and that you are feeling better. Thank you very much, Kate. I think that will be really, really helpful for those listening because,
Hope
as
so.
I say, this is different. It
Mm,
is a different approach. Looking at minerals in the way that I look at them, there's not many people doing it. And, it just makes a difference
yeah.
because it's the foundation of how your body works.
Mm.
And if you don't go to that foundation, then, what exactly are we doing? We're kind of just trying to, it's
We're
not,
wasting time and our money is what we're doing by doing other
yeah,
things. Yeah.
yeah. All right, lovely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
And you take care.
Speak to you soon. Bye.
Okay.